Hi, this is Chloe from Inner Whispers, and today I'm delighted to be unboxing the Triple Goddess Tarot from Lo Scarabeo. It just comes in a little box, at least the version that I've got, with what I assume is the Empress on one side and perhaps the High Priestess on the other. Let's have a look and find out. As ever with Lo Scarabeo, it comes with a little white book, which is in multiple languages, so there won't be a huge amount in any of them, but that's what we've got. And there are two variants of the Fool, it would seem, from the first page. Then the cards themselves, far more interesting. They seem to be borderless. This is a little intro card, and then we have... This is one of the cards that actually drew me to the deck. I like the fact that it looks like she's on an amazing, magical, floating bit of earth that's like up in the sky or something. That appeals to me somehow, not sure why. And here we have the Magician with her 4 elements, 4 suit emblems, all on books. So the learning about each, that's quite an interesting touch. And yes, it was the High Priestess. Okay, I like that the angles on this are a little bit different. It gives it a different perspective, a different feel. You can see the column of light and the column of dark to either side of her, but she's sort of kneeling in front of what might be woods rather than having her back to a body of water. She's actually facing it. It sort of alters the perspective in an interesting way. Here we have the Empress with her little white rabbit and her full belly. I like that instead of a crown of stars, she has these kind of glowing butterflies above her head. Yeah, it's cute. Oh wow, an extremely fierce and harsh looking emperor there, with a great big black dog with red eyes at his side. And here we have the Hierophant. Quite lovely. There's a fairy up there, and I don't know what kind of, an eagle, a songbird, a squirrel. So a connection with nature highlighted. The Lovers as a hand fasting, and the Chariot riding forth with determination, and we've got the Cancerian crab on the blanket of the horse. I wondered whether this was strength. So strength is like healing a wolf. It's an interesting addition. It's not just taming the instincts, but healing them, bringing them back to life, making them a part of yourself. Nicely done. Hermit, the guiding light. The wheel, the spinning wheel of life, with different elemental creatures helping it along. Justice, the Hanged One. I like the crystals and the mushrooms, and she seems to be hung by her own clothing. Oh wow, quite a fierce death in a cemetery, and yet she's holding some flowers. And it seems like a false face on an otherwise beautiful body. The cycles of life. Temperance. Interesting, I might almost have thought of that as the moon. It has that drawing down element. Oh, okay, that's a very different devil. Gonna have to look in the book for that, I think. Shall we do that right now? What does it say? Ah, okay, so it's the crone instead, and says break free from addictions, release yourself from restraint, indulge in healthy activities and passions, free yourself, do not give away your power to others, overcome fear and confusion. I'm not sure I can quite see that as the devil. I would have seen the crone more as the hermit, I think. But the bit about addictions, that certainly chimes. And the Tower, oh dear. It certainly has a feeling of being attacked by the elements, suffering. A beautiful star, purple of wisdom. Oh, the moon. Mystery, confusion, dark night of the soul. Yes, I can see that in there. The darkness of seeing yourself in the mirror. Old, suffering. The sun, beautifully joyous, dancing. Judgment, a great portal to the summer lands. And the world, that's an interesting one. Very different, not what I would expect at all. I'm not sure what to make of that, to be honest. Moving into the Suit of Cups, a lovely overflowing Ace of Cups. It has an almost photographic feel to it, and yet it is very clearly, well, I imagine it's CGI that's just been upgraded a lot, but the reflections and so on in the cup are amazing, and all the bubbles and flow from the water is fabulous too. And this is quite a sweet, naive little Two of Cups. Joyous Three of Cups. Makes me think of The Road Not Travelled. Interesting. Can't see anything, the hair is over her face. So it's about what we are refusing to look at, going into yourself. A nice Six of Cups. The joys of materialism, Seven of Cups. And the Eight of Cups, moving away from a homestead up a mountain. Not very different from normal, but it adds a little touch. Nine of Cups. Interesting, she has them like trophies, but she is also polishing them. Reliving the memories, but also making an effort. And here a family scene. But it's not just a nuclear standard family. There's more around hospitality, comfort. Ooh, Page of Cups, looking at a squid or an octopus. Knight of Cups, charging. Queen of Cups with her intuition. And, okay, so these will obviously have different names, because this is the Queen of Cups, or rather the King version, but it's a woman, so let's have a quick look at the court cards. So we have the student or page, the knight, the queen, and then the elder, which is equivalent to the king. So that works for me, and I do like her. She seems, yeah, she's no longer in the flow of it all, but she's connected. Ace of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, balance and choices. Oh, that's lovely. There's something about that shape. It's very, draws you into it. And it has the artisanship, workmanship, teamwork. Interesting, Four of Pentacles, actually offering up a pentacle, or is that like a begging bowl? Unusual. Five of Pentacles, she doesn't want to hear, that's for sure, so quite different. Six of Pentacles, generosity, that works quite nicely. Seven of Pentacles, harvest, there's less of a sense of having to work for it, though she is having to stretch for it. Eight of Pentacles, apprenticeship, working on something. And the Nine of Pentacles, beautiful in her garden. A peacock rather than a bird of prey, though. And the Ten of Pentacles, legacy, joy, material well-being. Our student is examining the world, I like that. And the Knight, the Queen, still has the bunny rabbit, and the Elder on her throne. The Ace of Wands, interesting, it's sort of pointed down rather than up, or depending on how you see that. Two of Wands, looking out from a house rather than a castle. more mundane, and yet the world is still a wide and exciting place. 3 of Pentacles, next steps. Doesn't quite work for me in the same way, but, well, maybe we'll see. 4 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. They're clearly wands. I'm clearly going mad today. So that's a nice celebration, preparing things. Full-on competition and argument clear in this 5 of Wands. And, yeah, success and recognition, not so very much. It seems quite a familial 6 of Wands. 7 of Wands. This time she's not just defending herself but also someone else, which is an interesting addition. 8 of Wands, things moving fast, and there's the sort of messages thing. And are they messages from spirit with the crow and the crone? And 9 of Wands, protecting her garden. 10 of Wands, she's dropped her burden and looking out into the world. Was she giving up? Our student is passionate and creative. Our knight, I'm not sure a horse could do that, but hey. The Queen, rising up, and the Elder. Interesting, a little more grounded perhaps. Then we move into the Suit of Swords. Lovely sunny Ace of Swords. Emotions and rocks abound, and then here in the 3 there's sorrow, yet there's the garden. It sort of reminds me of the Ace of Pentacles in some ways. A lovely 4 of Swords, meditating. 5 of Swords, she looks appropriately gleeful. 6 of Swords. Are they moving out of the cave into the cave? The boat doesn't seem to be resting on the water very much either. Interesting, might provoke different thoughts. And this 7 of Swords certainly looks sneaky, hiding off in the dark. 8 of Swords, oh, I really like that. The 8 of Swords is a card that for me is often really important, this thing of being constricted by our own ideas. And she looks blindfolded, and yet she looks like she's trying to make her way out, almost to feel her way out of the problem. So I really like that actually. Very unusual, very nice. 9 of Swords. It's interesting how the person gets older at the end of the suit. I quite like that too. And 10 of Swords. Has a less violent feel to it in many ways because she is old and looks like she's laid to rest rather than being stabbed through. Page of Swords, very nice. I like that, almost a sword of Damocles hanging above, or a reminder of this is what it's about. The Knight of Swords, a man that time. The Queen of Swords. She's laid aside a mask, a false face, and she's opening herself up, and the crown floats above her, choosing her. And the Elder of Swords, communicating with the young'uns. And here is our alternate Fool. Should we compare the two? I like the first one better, I think. The colours work better for me. Yeah, interesting. I'm not sure I would include both. Well, why not? I'm a sucker for extra cards. So, the deck is quite easy to hold in a single hand, which I always like, and it shuffles fairly well as a first thing. Fully reversible, and with that sort of Triscally and moon pattern. And let's try a riffle. So that riffles very nicely. I personally tend to like Le Scarabeo cardstock, especially sometimes they have some of their sort of theoretically higher quality decks have slightly thicker cardstock, and I actually don't like it as much because it's harder to hold and a little harder to shuffle, whereas these shuffle beautifully. I'm just mucking it up because, hey, it's on camera. A good deck in that regard. And let's take a look at a first message. And it's that Strength card. What do you need to do right now to heal your own inner drives? Blessed be.